What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows best, and I know I look a hot mess right now, but I want to tap in real quick and chime in with you guys and let you know that what you're about to witness today is actually a video of me getting coached by none other than the legendary Speedkicks. Now, if you're not familiar with who Speedkicks is, he is a well-decorated and highly acclaimed, a very skilled former Tekken professional player who competed in Tekken Tag 2 and Tekken 7 at the highest level. And he's still a very strong player to this day, but he's no longer a player who goes out of his way to get a sponsor and travel around the world and compete in anything like that. He mostly just plays the game online and coaches other players. And it's funny because I feel like, and I think he agreed when I brought this up to him, that he's much better of a player now than he was when he was actually a sponsored player who was traveling all over the world. I think he's smarter, sharper, and more skilled, which is kind of funny how that works out. But basically, he's like one of your favorite players' favorite player type of people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you guys are familiar with who FDX is at this point, and we know that he's been coaching people left, right, and center. And Speedkicks is actually FDX's coach. You know what I'm saying? So we going above and beyond and listen to help with somebody who's very strong, very skilled, and who's also an incredible teacher. But a few weeks back, he opened up his coaching sessions once again, and I was like, you know what? I'm about to pay for this because I want to get really good at the game. I feel like there's a lot that he could teach me, and I watch his stream, and he always throws out gems and pieces of advice that you can pick up on and add to your game and things like that. But I was like, I want some dedicated one-on-one coaching, so we're going to go ahead and get that, and I think it would make for good content. I streamed these sessions when they happened, but I didn't upload them as dedicated videos to the channel. So that's what I'm doing now. So this is the first one. There's another one that happened a few days later, like the following week, and I'll upload that as well if you guys want to see that. I don't want to take up too much of your time with the intro. I'm gonna just go ahead and let it rock, and hopefully y'all enjoy it. If you want to see part 2, you already know what you got to do. Likes, comments, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see y'all on the other side.
What's up, bro?
Yo, what's good with your homie? Appreciate you coming through.
Bro, I appreciate you for trying out this Hwoarang stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help it. He's just way too cool not to, and he's so fun in this game.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. This is like the most fun this character has ever been. So
see, I played him in like Tekken 3, but I think that was Tekken 3. I didn't know what I was doing. I was 9 or however old I was, but Tekken 7 is like the first time I really tried to learn him, and I was like, this character is sick. And I get to Tekken 8, and I didn't necessarily plan on maining him because I was like, there's a lot of characters on this roster that I think are really cool and really fun. And I was playing like Victor and Azu, like the newcomers, and I was like, these are both really strong, really easy, really fun characters. But the Hwoarang was inevitable, I guess. He's just too sick.
Yeah, bro. If you can, the thing about Hwoarang is like if you can play him, you have a hard time not playing him. You know, like it's too much fun. It's too much fun to do all his stuff.
That's facts.
All right, so the way I like to start these sessions out is I didn't tell you I was gonna be looking at your replays, but I'm about to be looking at your replays. All right, so
I assumed as much. I feel like that's a pretty good way to get a base and see what I'm lacking and where I need to improve.
So let me get your Tekken ID, and then I'm gonna pull those up.
I'll go ahead and type that in the Discord for you. There you go.
Sweet. Screen share up.
Also, chat, I think I'm gonna go ahead and turn alerts off while we're doing this, and anything that I obviously miss, subs, donos, bids, follows, whatever, I'll go ahead and thank y'all properly at the end of this session.
Okay. Quick match.
Yeah, I think I only played quick match last night.
Alright. Well, I want to see the rank match. I want to see when you sweating for the rank points, you know?
When was the last time I played ranked? It's been a few days, I think. Or did I play?
About 3 days, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yoshimitsu. Yo, we're cooking this dude. And then he left. That's crazy. Okay. you adapted. He beat you the first 2 times. Other 2 different dudes. Okay. 2 different Kishin Yoshis. You beat this dude. He left. Got it. All right. Let's see.
You know what? I think I just fought another Kishin Yoshi last night in quick match.
Bro, I don't know what's up. They're all Kishin. Let's check out this replay.
All right.
I didn't want to look at the. Well, actually, hold on. Let's look at the Shaheen. I don't like looking at the weird matchups because those characters, some characters are like playing their own game, and like to beat them it's gonna be a whole lot of like knowledge stuff. But I guess a character like Shaheen, you know.
See, Shaheen's not weird, but he's so uncommon that I just like, okay, I'm not really sure what to do against him because this might be the third Shaheen I've ever seen.
Okay. And are you playing on arcade stick?
No, I just play on a regular PS5 controller. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Down 3, 4, jab. Okay.
Watching my own replays is so funny because sometimes I look at things, I'm like, why on earth did I do that there?
My guess, I was about to ask, how's your player 2 side?
Obviously not as good as player 1, but like I can manage.
Okay. Some people get real rough on the other side, you know.
I think with Hwoarang in particular, it's difficult because of the stances and stuff, and like sometimes I overthink it and confuse myself with like, am I left flamingo or right flamingo? Like, am I left? Like, it's you know what I'm saying? Like, it's when I'm playing like Azu or Victor, it's like it's pretty simple because those characters are simple, but yeah, I do slip up a little bit. That was a terrible combo. I dropped that and tried to clean it up and it didn't work.
Okay. Boss in 2. I respect the hop kick, man. Okay. Actually, that was good movement. Block the down forward ones, you backdash between them. That's like actually the good stuff. Some weird Shaheen stuff. Nobody plays this character, so we don't know what's up. Let me ask you, how is your Just Frame Skyrocket execution?
Terrible. Like, I can do it, but it's not consistent. It's one of those things where I have to think really hard to do one, so I can't actually use it in matches unless I'm right foot forward.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and do about like, you know, like not too much, just like practice it for like 7 minutes before you play online. All right.
All right. But let me open up my WordPad so I can take notes and whatnot.
Okay.
But yeah, so I actually couldn't do it like at all. So I don't know if you saw or not, if you were aware, but like I had a coaching session with Kwis as well, and he at least unlocked the ability to do it because before that I could not figure it out. I just would always be like a frame or two off every single time. And he said something, and I'm the type of like player or just person in general where I guess sometimes I just overthink, and like things that are very, very simple, I understand it once it's said out loud. Before it gets said out loud, I just never think of it that way, and then all of a sudden something clicks. And he was like, yo, just think of it like you're hitting forward, neutral, forward, then down forward. And I was like, huh. Because like I knew that I was always hitting the forward too late, like after the down forward. So I was like, okay, let me pretend like I'm hitting four first. When he said do like neutral, forward, down forward, I was like, oh. And I just like thinking of it that way just made it like a world of difference.
For some, that's the trick some people have to use, right? Because you're right. Listen, your left thumb is always on the pad, right? Your right thumb is not. So if your brain tries to hit both at the same time, right, your right hand's gonna move a little bit slower.
Right.
So it works mad easy if you just try to tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna hit the forward first, and it kind of works out that way that you hit them at the same time. So skyrockets, we're gonna need the skyrockets to start coming through. Okay.
Alright.
Because right here, like, okay, look. Last game, you heat engaged, you did forward two, he ate it, right?
Right.
This game, you heat engage, you do down forward two, he ate it, right? Like, wait. Where's the highlight? if we do this again, but you can do a skyrocket, like, oh wait, the bot is not letting me take it over in time. Hold up, let me run it back. So if you can do skyrockets off these heating gauges, then you get like mad damage for no reason, right? Like pro's dead. You just won the game.
Right.
So it's something. It's a skill that you want. It's so free.
Right. No, I mean, you know, I watch you all the time. I've seen you do skyrocket after heat engager a lot. And I'm just watching like, man, it would be nice if I had the hands for that. But that's why I say like I go for like down forward 2 sometimes, but like obviously it doesn't launch crouchers, or like sometimes if I'm feeling frisky, I'll go back 3 because it's like, oh, I kind of got to take bigger risks because I ain't got that execution. But that's why I got to keep practicing.
Yeah, so we're gonna just like, it doesn't have to be that much, right? Because there's so much stuff to practice in Tekken.
Right.
You don't want to like overwhelm yourself to like make it less fun, right? But if you do like 7 to 10 minutes of skyrockets a day before you like log in to play the game online, then before you know it, you'll just like start doing them. You'll do it without thinking about it. You'll like be in a game, you're like, this dude about to duck, and then you just go for it.
I hope so. That's the plan. That's the goal.
All right. So Lotus. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a lobby. All right, and we're gonna play a little bit.
You and I?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to get embarrassed.
Nah. You're gonna nah. Forget that. You're gonna do your best. Okay.
I will definitely do my best.
Okay. I'm about to make a lobby. Oops, I hate range match. I'm dumb. Player match. It's got passcode on it, so you can search up the lobby. Search for like area any and passcode settings on.
Here you are.
There you go.
Bet.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this ought to be fun.
Yeah, you got this.
Shit, this segment here could be a video in and of itself. Oh, I played against Speedkicks.
Nah, I'm not gonna play Hwoarang yet.
Oh, you're not? Okay, I was about to say this will be funny too, because like at the risk of like sounding like condescending, which I'm really not, because I definitely don't think I'm nice at this game. Most Hwoarang players I fight are very bad, so I've rarely lost the mirror, and I typically don't consider myself good at mirror matches. So I was like, this will be fun to get bodied by somebody else who plays this character for a change, because
I'm playing a different character, so I can let you do the Hwoarang stuff, and I'm not gonna do it to you.
Because he needs that.
Fair combo.
Very fair. Very fair. Because he needs that on top of the pokes and plus frames and the neutral and, you know, everything else he's got.
Mm-hmm. Trying to combo that so long, man.
Fighting is also fun because, like, or funny rather, I should say, because you're obviously just like letting me do my thing and just seeing how, like, my habits and like everything that I'm doing. But a lot of times, like, I kind of am the one like waiting around, like seeing what my opponent's gonna do, and I just like to do 4-3 a lot on block. That's not 4-3, but just 4-3 and see if they.
And that is exactly why I said let's play, because the other dudes, they were killing themselves.
Right.
So I want to see.
So many people do that in this game that that's just kind of like, I'm surprisingly passive, which I don't really want to be in this game, but because it's normally so effective against a lot of the players that I'm fighting, it's how I've become, even though I feel like this character in this game lends well, obviously, to being aggressive. But at the level that I play at, my level of competition is so much, like, if you allow it, they will hang themselves. So I tend to try to allow it.
Right. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this, because I wanted you to kind of almost like shift your mentality a little bit, so that you're starting off like looking to apply that pressure, and then if you see that the guy will kill himself, you just let him kill himself, right? But to do that first, I need to see what your pressure looks like. Yeah, hold up, wait, you're cooking.
Nice.
Okay.
Ah, damn.
That's rough.
Did I just die?
Yeah.
That's so unfortunate. Nice.
Okay.
God. Damn.
Okay. So. So let's see. Let's talk about Hwoarang a little bit.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the lobby. I'm gonna switch to Hwoarang. And we're just gonna talk for a second.
All right.
So when it comes to this character, right? Everyone knows he's got like really scary offense, right? Everyone's like, okay, he's got hella mix-ups, right? You start kicking, your opponent don't know what to do. They get concerned, they get shook, they start mashing. Okay, that's just how it goes, right? Now, if you notice, if I just sit there and block all day and just move all day, sometimes it's not entirely, the mix-up is not entirely in your favor, right? Like I was blocking some stuff, I got the launch. I got the sidewalk, I got the launch, you know? So it can be kind of risky to kind of keep it up. But Tekken is a game where your opponent kind of they have to find an opportunity to actually get some damage on you, right?
Right.
So you know how you said you're really comfortable kind of just sitting back, moving, and like watching your opponents kill themselves, hitting your 4-3s, your down forward 2s, and like, you know, your back 3 whiff punishes and stuff like that.
Right.
That's the goal, no matter what. All right, that's where every Hwoarang player wants to be. His whiff punish game is insane, right?
Yeah.
Sure. But against a good player, you're not going to be able to get those whiffs out just by kind of sitting back, right? You know, just by waiting, right? That's not going to happen. At the same time, if you just go in all day, right, you might get blocked and you might get launched for something. When it comes to playing this character, the main idea is that you want your opponent to not know when they can stop you from going in. You want to always kind of be looking like you're about to hit them, you know? Like you know,
so you want the threat to always be there.
Yeah. You want the threat to always be there, and you want to make sure they know the threat is there. You want to make sure they know you'll do it, right? So the critical like zone when you're playing Hwoarang, like the spacing, is like right about here, right? And the reason for that is that this is where I can dash up and I can hit you. Like look, see, right? Like that's where that's a concern. But try to keep me out. I'm gonna dash forward. Okay. Did I do it? See, I'm like over here.
I did not mean the back one there. Please don't look at me.
Right. So I can even go under the jab. Right? Whip.
Nice.
Okay. So when you are playing this character, you kind of want to find a good balance between attacking and defending. You don't want to just go all in. You have this like hella Hwoarang players who are kind of carried a little bit, and they're just going in. They're just mashing every button, and they're hoping their opponent doesn't know what's up.
Right.
Right. You don't want to do that. You want to find kind of that good balance of applying pressure, hitting your opponent, making sure that you're hitting them, poking at them. You have them scared of your approach.
Right.
And then when you think when they're getting sick of getting hit, right? You chill, and you chill right here, and you look like you're gonna hit them because they're going to try to match something. They're going to try to run in with their own move, maybe where you can get like a side step or keep out down forward 2, or they're going to whiff a button and try to kill you for it, and you can kill them for it, right?
So something I was actually talking to my stream about last night when I was streaming. And I don't really know if this is something that can be taught or learned or whatever, if it's just like a mental hurdle that I need to personally get over, and that'll only just be through experience and just being cognizant of it and keeping it in mind when I'm playing, is that I have a hard time, I feel, recognizing the situation where it's like, oh, this person just doesn't know how to fight this character, or their defense isn't strong enough. I should just keep going in. Like I should just keep going in with all the flamingo mix-ups and just keeping up the pressure. And a lot of times, like I'll be fighting an opponent, and then just the non-stop offense will be working and I'll be winning. And then for no reason at all, I'm like, okay, maybe I should switch it up now and do this. Or, making adjustments against an opponent where adjustments clearly don't need to be made. You know what I mean? And that's something I feel like I struggle with a lot. And then there are other times where, and I guess part of the reason why I feel like that is because sometimes I feel like it's so easy to just flowchart and just get into like a repetitive pattern. And then sometimes that obviously gets you killed, right? And it's like, because I'm thinking of that at times, it's like, okay, let me not get too autopilot. Let me be more about what I'm doing, and trying to figure out how to find that balance or that recognition of like, it's okay to do that here, or this isn't autopilot. Like I am consciously deciding to do this because this is what's working, as opposed to like overthinking it and being like, okay, I should pick this other option now because they got hit by this 3 times, so they're gonna be expecting it. And like, I have a hard time of like allowing a player to show me who they really are when they showed me the first time. It's like he got hit by this low 4 times. Do it a 5th time. Like, don't stop doing it until they show you that they can adapt.
So you're gonna have to get comfortable. So the thing about this is that sometimes you're gonna have to get comfortable with the idea that a dude can show you 4 times that he'll get hit by something, and then he'll change it up on the 5th time, right? And if he does that, good job to him. All right, he can have that one. Okay, you know what I mean? Like you have to be okay with this is the right decision because like 90% of the time I'm gonna be right, and on that 10% of the time he can have that, you know. Right. So like if someone shows me that something keeps working, I have to keep going to it. I'm dumb if I don't. Right. That's how I feel. I have to, you know, and obviously there's a difference between a smart player who's letting you get away with something so that they can punish it later, and someone who is just genuinely confused and they'll just let themselves get hit by this thing over and over. Right. If you let yourself like not go, if you psych yourself out of going into what keeps working on someone, then there was no game that you played there. You didn't do that because of something he did, right? You did that because of something that you just decided not to do. Right. And that's kind of not how Tekken works, right? Like Tekken is about making decisions based off what the other guy is doing. So if he keeps showing you that that he's gonna keep eating something, and you are like you're genuinely convinced that it'll keep working, you can't like go, hey, what if it doesn't work this 5th time? What if he blocks it the 5th time? Right? Like what if?
I think the thing I struggle with is that like there are players I fight who like me telling myself, okay, I did this option last time, I should pick this option this time. Like that works, and that is, I guess, quote unquote, the right thing to do. Like I have a homie named June who I consider, you know, pretty good at fighting games. I don't know if you know who June is or not, but he's pretty good at fighting games, right? So he's the type of player where like he's not going to let me do the same option 3 times in a row. Like he's going to adapt. So I know that because I'm fighting him, that I know I need to do that. But it's like when I'm fighting random people, obviously I don't know who Joey Wheeler 6'9" is on the other side of the screen. I don't know if he's good at fighting games. I don't know if he's good at Tekken. I don't know if he knows this matchup, whatever. So it's like I guess I just have trouble like reminding myself that like, hey man, until he shows you, he's bad. Okay, until he proves otherwise, he is bad. Every player I fight is bad until proven otherwise.
Listen, you're gonna have to get that a little bit, right? There's a reason that some of the best fighting game players in history are generally don't think much of their opponents, and it's because of the fact that you have to be able to accurately assess the situation. You can't overestimate someone. Right. You don't want to go, oh hey, what if he plays perfectly and adjust to everything he's supposed to? No, you have to be like, this guy is not going to deal with this, and I don't believe he will until he shows me he will deal with this, right? And then you adjust for the level. Like, okay, now I see he's looking for these things, which doesn't even mean that it always has to be the same mix-up, right? Because I saw that he adapted to one defensive mix-up, I can also assume that he might adapt to another one. I can also assume that he doesn't like getting hit low there, so maybe that situation at the end of the round where I hit him low last time, he might also try to block that low next, right? So you can use that kind of information about how good their adaptation is in other areas to guess if you should do that low the 5th time or not, right? And part of that is going to be, you know, obviously confidence in your own read, right? But another part of that is you got to have a little bit of fuck it in you. You know what I mean? You got to have it like, okay, I believe this should hit. There's no reason like, you know, I've done this a billion times. He ate it.
Right.
I'm going to do it again. If he blocks it, whatever. You know, you have to have a little bit of that whatever in you. You have to be able to say like, this is statistically the right move to make because this guy has shown me he's really bad. So I'm going to do this. And if they make the good play, they make the good play. You don't want to overthink that too much, but you also don't want to underthink it.
Right.
It's got to be a little bit on point. Do it for a reason. You know, tell yourself this guy will keep eating the same thing over and over, and then do it. And then if he doesn't, you know, clap for him. Like, good job, you adjusted to the one thing out of like 50.
Right. Now, let's see how you handle the next one.
Yeah, exactly. But you don't want to psych yourself out. You don't want to be the one that saves his defense, right? Because the idea of defending is that you're supposed to convince the other guy to be scared of doing something, right? But you're convincing yourself to be scared of doing it.
Yeah, and I do that way too often for no real reason other than like I'm just like, okay, I've been doing this option a lot, I should pick something else. When it's like, no, like he keeps getting hit, keep doing it.
Yeah. And it's fine. And it's fine. It's fine to mix it up. You know what I mean? It's fine to sometimes go for the other option. Like, okay, well, let's see. I'm not going to do the low this time because I did the low the other 2 times.
Right.
But then when you see that you do the mid and you're like, wait, he didn't duck.
He's still not ducking. Okay, like I got to keep attacking.
Yeah. Next time, bro, I'm running it. You're gonna have to show me. I don't believe you're paying attention. That's crazy. And then you just keep going. Okay. So now, what I want to do is I want to play the Hwoarang mirror.
Okay.
So that you can feel a little bit what being on the other side of this character feels like.
I have an idea. I actually don't. It's funny because like I don't like mirror matches in general, but I think Hwo has a hard time dealing with himself because of the type of character he is, and it feels to me like not necessarily a war of attrition. I don't know if that's accurately describing it, but it's like, hey man, you better get started before he gets started. That's what it feels like sometimes.
It's a little bit like that. You kind of have to. You can't wait around in this mirror match.
Yeah.
Yeah, but y'all, you don't want to get caught matching too hard. Yeah.
Nice. The wall has betrayed me. This used to be my best friend. I see how it is. It be your own people. It's one of my favorite stages.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
See what I mean? Sometimes you gotta look, you're gonna hit him. So you chill.
Door.
Okay. One low.
That's fair.
Obvious left.
Nice. Also, I swear that launcher's ass. I had somebody in my chat trying to convince me otherwise. I think his while sitting 2-3 sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah. Nice.
I wasn't sure if I was gonna survive it.
Nah, I knew that wasn't killing. Now I'm in a bad spot. I'm in a wild sample for
I was like, nah, he wouldn't wake up with a button. No way. He's too good of a player to do that. But it's also like
getting up with a button.
It said fuck it. Like that's what he's talking about. So
exactly. Okay.
Round 1. Fight.
There you go. So the down 3-4 into the jab is a good pattern, but sometimes people like to duck, right?
Right. And Chaos was telling me I need to use more mids, and I'm just trying to break the habit.
Yeah. So showing them the mid and showing them the low there is what kind of makes the stance switch scary.
Right.
Because while they're sitting there wondering if it's about to be mid or low, you're like, okay, I'm going to the other stance now.
Double combo.
I'm activating.
That's fair. Makes a lot of sense.
Okay, good with finish. The mid. Block? Okay. That was a good sequence. That was a really good round.
Thanks. Doing my best.
And so you see, when I get to that range, I'm just waiting.
Right.
Because my option is dash forward and do some annoying offense poking stuff, or wait, and if he cracks because he thinks I'm gonna run in, I get a big whip punish.
Yeah, well, also as someone who's been watching you since like 2017, you have better spacing than 99% of players I've ever seen. So that probably helps.
Yeah, you know, listen, I'm trying to give you the secrets right here. Okay, this is how it's done. Yeah, you move. Oh shit, hold on.
Round 2. Fight.
I had no clue I was going to the combo.
I know better. Ah, shit. Damn.
Bro, the heat smash is so bad until it isn't.
Man, it hits at some really interesting angles. Like, I think it's so ass, and then somebody's behind me and it hits. I'm like, oh, maybe it's not so bad after all.
Yeah, it's like when is this thing supposed to be bad and when it's supposed to be good? I have no clue. It's RNG. Okay, good mid. I'm ducking still.
Nice.
Almost.
Round 4. Fight.
You right there. They caught me whipping.
It's funny because, like, obviously I've never played you before, but like you and Kwis are the two players I'm always trying to emulate whenever I play. Like seeing somebody like actually fighting the things that I normally do to other people, but actually being done at the best way. I'm just like, man, that's what that feels like.
Yeah, that's what that down 4-2 feels like. I felt that the first time I fought someone who like watched my gameplay and they hit me with my own stuff. I was like, oh, I'm annoying.
Man, that was me in DBFZ where like people would do all my trunk stuff against me. I'm like, that's what that's like.
Round 1. Fight.
Yeah. So here, you gotta be a little bit more willing to just dash up and hit me, right? And that goes back to what I was saying about you gotta have a little bit of a fuck it, you know? Like, if you get hit on the keep out, who cares? There's 3 rounds in Tekken. There's 3 rounds, I think 180 health in this game, 170, one of those.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that, all right? You have a lot of health. You can get hit in the face a couple times. And you want to get hit in the face while learning information about how your opponent tries to stop you.
Round 2. Fight.
Get down 4-2. No.
Round 3. Fight.
Nice. This is one more reason why that's so useful too, because like I use down 3-4 so much, so like people really want to duck, and it's like I could just do that.
Yeah, if you're playing a down 3-4 style Hwoarang and that just frame skyrocket, it's gonna be mad important. Yes, cheat button. Okay.
Final round. Fight.
Oh, I got something.
Yeah, good shit.
Okay. So, a couple of things. I'm gonna hit practice mode now.
All right.
I'm gonna get my screen share up.
Sure.
We gotta talk about down 3-4. It's our favorite move.
It is. It's so good. It's what's carried me this far.
Okay. So let's talk about why you gotta do more mids there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready for the next battle.
So let's say I'm fighting a Hwoarang player who does like this, right? So that's kind of the sequence you were doing a lot.
Right.
You down 3-4, stand switch, down
low
3-4,
high,
right?
and just all gets beat by ducking.
Right. So it all gets beat by ducking, right? And also, if I'm looking for this stand switch, I just sidewalk, so I don't even have to hold the mix, right? Or I'm looking for the stand switch, I do this, right? Interrupt. That's what a lot of people are gonna do. They're gonna mash. I'm sure you've been mashed on that before, right?
Yeah, but not as much as you'd probably think, which is why I've gotten into such a bad habit of using it so much.
Really, they just hold that,
bro. The biggest reason why you see me use it so much is because it's what has worked. Like, like I use the jab so much because it's a frame trap, and like nobody actually ever bothers to learn matchups in this game. So I'm plus on block. Everybody just holds that, and I do down 4-2, and I just autopilot because I get a free launch. Like 99% of players I fight all eat that. They all, and the only adaptation anybody ever tries to make is not ducking. They try to power crush.
Kind of. That's crazy.
That's been my experience. I have had a couple of players who've hit me out of it. But it's usually like they down jab or they mash power crush really hard.
Okay. So if you're fighting a good player, you gotta show the mid.
There we go. There we go.
If you're fighting someone decent, because I'm sure at your rank, right, you sometimes probably run into a dude on his like second character.
Yeah.
Right. He's like God of Destruction on his main, and he's like on his second character trying to rank up.
Yeah.
And yeah, when you're fighting those dudes, you gotta show the mid. And the reason you gotta show the mid is because look, let's say it's this mid. I like that mid still. Mode. Okay. And this low. This low. That low is scary, right? So look at that. I'm trying to block it instinctually, right? So like you have this low mid situation that's kind of really obnoxious to have to deal with for anybody, right? No one has to deal with this, right? So you're just sitting there, you're looking for the mix, and all of a sudden now, while you're thinking about low or mid, right? Because you want to block this low, you don't want to get hit by this low, and you don't want to get hit by the mid, right? While you're thinking about this, the dude hits you with the sand switch. So now I'm looking to block low. I'm looking for the follow up. It doesn't come. and then the next mix-up comes in my face, right? Like that's whoa. Anyway, the next mix-up comes. we're gonna move right past.
We won't sail right on past that.
Yeah, right. So he does the next mix-up, okay, and he does the next mix-up while you're looking for the low mid, and he's now in the other stance, and you don't have the reaction time to down 4-2 or sidewalk, right? So what people end up doing is they end up trying to mash into the stand switch. And if they try to mash to the stand switch, then obviously you have this counter hit launcher, right? It's okay to go for the 2 after, right? And just keep it safe. But when you're only going for the 2 after, you are missing out on the potential damage of the mix-up.
I think that is a bad habit I have developed that stems from the fact that it has what has worked so far in ranked, and that so many people they try to mash, but the options that they're mashing get beat by that more often than not. And so it's like, I believe that playing against bad players develops bad habits, and most people in ranked aren't world class. So
so a good way for practicing, you almost, so when I was first learning the game, like at a serious level, right? And I started beating people around at my local. I started winning my locals and stuff, and I played Anakin for the first time seriously. Something he told me is that, because I was like, how am I supposed to like catch up to you if I beat everyone else but I lose to you, right? And the answer he gave me was that you have to beat everyone else harder. Right, you have to. You can't. Instead of just winning, with that.
You have to win harder, bro. You can't. You can't be blowing out the other team by 20 points. You need to win by 50.
Yeah, exactly. You'll catch up by you'll find more things to fixing your gameplay, and you'll give it more effort if you're not comfortable with those 3-2 wins in ranked match. I want to win. I want to win 3-1. I want to win 3-0. I want every game to be a blowout. I want to feel like I was in control the whole time. Right. And so by trying to push that, instead of just going, I'm gonna do enough to win against this dude who's pretty bad, this dude's never gonna have a chance to touch me, right? And when he guesses wrong, he's gonna lose his whole health bar, right? If you start thinking about it like that, then you'll start developing. You can start kind of, making yourself care a little bit more about doing the better options that would beat anyone as opposed to just the bad players,
Right. I think for me, I get hung up a lot on finding the things and like doing the things that like quote unquote beat the bad players, because I lose a lot to people who I don't think are better than me, and like that's such a shitty mindset to have. It's like if they're better than, if they won, then they're better than you, right? Like, and as a content creator, I deal with that a lot, where it's like I feel like I have the ability to like recognize patterns in somebody's gameplay and the type of player they are and like their skill and everything like that. And it's just like, if I don't just straight up say that the other guy was better than me after they won, then it's like, oh, I'm just salty, I'm hating, whatever. But it's like, no, like I recognize the situation, because like I can see and recognize more than I'm able to apply. I think that probably is the case for a lot of people, but I'm definitely one of those people. So it's like when I see that, like, oh, I can understand that this person's doing this string that's duckable, or this move that's punishable on block, or they're always mashing here, but I don't do anything about it, then I get upset with myself. So like I'm always looking for the frame trap, or this whatever this string is that stops me from losing to people who I know I shouldn't be losing to. When if I just get better in general, then that won't be an issue anyway.
Right. So exactly. So you want to push instead of, because I understand exactly what you're saying. Right. There's sometimes listen. I've done it in tournament. Right. Sometimes you're losing and you're like,
yo, this nigga's ass. Like, why?
Why am I losing?
Like straight up, just sometimes just like, yo, this dude should not be beating me.
Like, this dude sucks. And then the first thing I started doing is I started pulling out the stuff that I know that beats the dudes who suck.
Right.
Okay. And I'm under pressure. I'm trying to win. I get it. After the match, I'll review and think about how I could have won more. How I could have avoided that stress. How I could have won, kind of, I guess, quote unquote, properly. Right. I don't like using the word proper or improper when it comes to Tekken, but how I could have won without using the new buster stuff, right? And if you're playing, like you said, you're a content creator, right? So you're streaming your games, and this dude sucks. And you know that if you could muster up the skill to duck and launch his string, you'd be winning. But you're not doing that right now. And dudes in your chat are talking shit, calling you a carried Hwoarang player.
Every day.
You're like, I can't lose this. And then you do and then you pull out the frame trap that you know he wasn't supposed to mash into, you know? You have to kind of swallow your pride on that one. Right? You can't focus on winning the whole time. You have to, you know, focus on developing the skills that will help you win more consistently and win harder, as opposed to what will help you get the immediate W right now. Otherwise, you'll create a bunch of bad habits.
That's like a I wouldn't say it's a new mindset per se, but it is something that is one of those things that once I heard it out loud, I kind of internalized it more and thought more about it. And I don't remember who said it. You might have seen the tweet as well. But somebody on Twitter said something to the effect of you shouldn't get hung up on your win rate, which I never really. Win rate is not one of those stats or things that I ever really cared too much about or I get too hung up on. But there is obviously some kind of pride in like, oh, I win most of my games. But in reality, it's like, well, if you're winning most of your games, that just means you're playing against people who are worse than you. So I forget what the tweet said like verbatim, but it was something along the lines of, if you have like a 50% win rate, then you're where you should be. And if you're winning 60 to 70% of your games, well, then you're just feeding off of players who are weaker than you, and you're not really learning or growing or developing or whatever. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, instead of, and Tekken especially is one of those games where I'm like, instead of worrying about having like, oh, I win 75% of my games, it's like, what did I take away from this match, and what can I improve upon and take with me into the next game so that I'm better than I was before. Yeah,
exactly. And so that's typically what you want to try to go into your ranked matches thinking. You know how I just said when you're playing, you want to try to beat the other dude. You try to beat the other dude as hard as you possibly can, right? But in order to do that, you have to develop some skills in order to make that happen, right?
Right.
It's not just so much about abusing why he's weak, but just skill gapping him on everything.
Right.
And in order to actually do that, you have to care about developing those skills, because the avenue to actually getting that harder win on people in ranked is to develop the proper skills. It's not just to abuse like their individual weaknesses, because you'll notice if you start playing to abuse people's weaknesses, that you might get some rounds more consistent. You might get more rounds, more games, even more sets, right? But you'll start to feel how inconsistent it is, because sometimes they'll just stop being bad for that one moment.
Right.
Like sometimes you're doing something hoping they mash.
I'm a huge victim of that.
You're like, this dude, I need this dude to mash right here, otherwise I'm gonna lose. And he's been mashing, and then he's decided, hey, wait, I'm not gonna mash here. Now what are you doing? now how did you plan on winning, right?
I'm trying to tell you, I'm the king of like, oh, now you decide to block. Okay, for sure.
Yeah. So if you keep that in mind and start focusing on the individual skills that you want to build, right? So like I told you about just making sure you're using more mids after down 3-4, right? And trying to get more kind of just more value out of that situation.
It's funny because, and you know what I think it is, because down forward 4 after down 3-4, right? There used to be a natural hit like launcher, and when they changed that from natural hit to being counter hit in Tekken 7, I feel like I used it less, which it was still good, but I feel like I used it less. And now in Tekken 8, I use it even less than I did then. And I don't know if that's like directly the reason why, but it's like I used to use that a lot more. And then like the back 3 is obviously really good as well. And back 3 also used to just be a straight up launcher, and now it's not. And it isn't heat, but it's like, I don't know, like those moves are still really, really strong. Like plus like the down 4-4s plus unblock, the back 3 is a launcher and it's safe. Like I should still be using them, but I don't know why it's not like they just dropped off a cliff in value, but I don't know.
Nah, it's great. And if you listen, bro, let me tell you something about down 3-4 in this game. Because before it was a little bit rough to go for the low, right? If you went for the low, you had to go for the hell sweep, which could get blocked and launched and all that stuff. Listen to me. We have a new low.
Right.
I love this low. It encourages ducking. Okay. So even though the jab kind of does also, the jab also encourages ducking a little bit. Sometimes people just aren't gonna. They don't care about the jab. They just hate the jab, and then they play the situation after. The situation after is nice, but it's always good to play your options in the situation where you are plus 14.
Okay, so as I'm thinking about it now, I guess I have been working on the mids thing, but here's the thing. So the mid that I was mainly using a lot was up forward 4.
Up forward 4. Okay.
Yeah, because it's a launcher.
You're greedy.
I'm greedy. But here's my rationale. Right? Yes, I am greedy for sure, but also no one was ever punishing it. Like because again, I'm against bad players, so I was like, well, why should I be afraid? Because like when I play as Senna, bro, I block anything 1-1. Am I gonna do 3+4 or am I gonna do hell sweep? Because when people block the launcher, they're not punishing me. So why should I be afraid to use it? So like, yeah, I was using up forward 4, and like when I was split with K was like, you need to use more safe mid. So I was like, okay, let me try to use the launcher less. And like now I'm realizing I'm using it very little, and almost not at all, which isn't necessarily how I want it to be. But like I was trying to not rely on that one as my main mid all the time. And now the next step is, okay, now implement more back 3 and more down forward 4.
Yeah, the back 3 is awesome, bro. Listen. He engages, it's safe. That's a huge, and it makes people feel dumb. It makes people feel really dumb for ducking.
Right.
And off of the heat engage, and I think this goes back to what we said about practicing your skyrocket, right? You would probably love this heat engage situation more if your skyrocket was clean.
I'm sure I would. It looks really useful when you do it.
Yeah, because look. I'm just saying, like, it just goes back to it, right? It all strings together. Okay, if you get the skyrocket off of the heat engage, then you can down 3-4 all you want, right? So when I'm playing, in my mind, this down 3-4 is guaranteed.
Right.
Like nobody who's ducking here. Only person who ducks there is like Anakin, because he loves making me showing me I have to still go for the mid sometimes, right? And look at all the damage.
I love watching the two of you play. By the way, I saw y'all play the set. Was it yesterday, or the day before? And I was like, man, this make me feel nostalgic, like I was there. But like,
no, that's always fun, bro. Is like there's so many layers in that matchup,
right?
But you see all the damage. Look at that damage, right? That was just down 3-4, back 3, down 3-4, right? And that down 3-4, like I said, is basically guaranteed in my brain because of just frame skyrocket. And I'll keep doing the down 3-4, like daring my opponent to duck. You know,
right?
Because skyrocket, it's just a broken move.
It's like, okay, duck if you want to.
Right?
You gonna kiss the moon in a moment.
Yeah, exactly. Like, please show me that you're ducking. I would love that, right? And so.
I think another thing too is like the down 3-4. Let's say I just do like the jab or whatever the case is. Like I can do skyrocket from right foot 4. Like that's free. Like everyone can do that one, right? And I just don't, and I should, because why not? I feel like
you don't do this. You don't do the right flamingo or the right stance skyrocket.
Never.
You don't do it. Okay, so
I can. Like it's easy to do, but I just never think to do it.
You're gonna have to swallow your pride on that one, okay? Sometimes even you do the easy mode version. Just do the skyrocket Lotus, okay?
No, I'm with you. Like, but it's I don't know what it is, because like I've always been able to do the right foot forward one, like because I don't know how much bigger the window is, but it's obviously not like a real just frame. But it never comes to mind to use it for me for whatever reason. But like that's something I'm trying to work on.
Yeah. So we're gonna need this in general. Hwoarang has really rewarding mids, okay, and they're safe, right? The skyrocket is safe, the back 3 is safe, even the down forward 4 is safe, right? This is safe, right? Like,
also, I don't know how you get the just frame on that so consistently. That one I think impresses me even more than the skyrocket.
I'm a nerd. I practiced as soon as I found out this existed. I was like, "Ooh, that's really fun," and I just kept spamming it in practice mode.
Insane.
So I want you to kind of play with the idea when you're playing with Hwoarang. And this actually this goes to what I was saying about the neutral game too earlier. Spacing. Every time every time I'm doing something, I have the follow-up in mind, right? I have the other option, because this character doesn't get against decent players, right? He doesn't get rewarded too much for just running, like, let's say down 3-4 over and over, right? Like, it's just a 17 damage low. Even if I do the low after, it's not that much damage together, right? So he doesn't get a lot of reward for landing down 3-4, but you know what he does get rewarded for? The skyrocket, right? So
right,
can't do it right now, right? So it's just same skyrocket, right? So I'm doing the down 3-4, hoping to God I can convince this guy to duck, and I'll even eat the block. It's fine.
See, for me though, I also kind of get a kick out of somebody just dying an entire round to down 3-4. Like, it's just as funny to me.
You know, sometimes that happens. But let me, if you've ever seen me do that, just know I was wishing I could do anything else.
That's
I was
fair.
like, I was like, yo, I would love for this dude to duck, but he's not ducking. So I'm doing if you see me do a billion lows in a row, it's out of spite.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Because I wanted him to do
You're doing
the other
reluctant,
thing.
like, I guess I'll just do this. Like,
yeah. Like, okay, I really have to, bro. Like, okay, fine. I'll just keep doing it. And so I'm mad doing the lows over and over. They're mad eating the lows over and over. And neither of us are happy. Okay. But I'm doing it with the idea of hitting the skyrocket, right? And similarly to what I said before about the mid-range, as I'm going in to hit this guy, I would love it if he just give me a whiff. You know, it would be a present. It would be like, oh, you know, thank you. You're so kind. I literally thank my opponents when they whiff, because that's the easy way to end the game. But that's not what happens. So when I dash this close and I'm like, this guy's not going to whiff, I dash in again and I hit him. And I hit him. I do the down 3-4, and I'm like, will he do the low? Will he block the low so that I can hit him with the skyrocket?
you know, I never thought about the actual range of where I want it to be in order to bait out something for potential whiff punish, especially because like back 3 obviously just has such good range. Like sometimes I'll literally just stand in place, because I fight a lot of players who either have no movement, which my movement's not good myself, or they know how to move, but they don't know how to apply it. So like the majority of players I have fought that know how to like wave dash or like backdash cancel, they don't know why they're doing it. So they'll like back up full screen. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what you're going to do from back there, but go for it.
Right.
I'll stand there and they'll do like a running move or whiff a full string. I'm like, okay, back 3, thank you. But like I never, and like sometimes like I'll play the game of like chicken where it's like I'm, you know, dashing in and out trying to bait something out of them. But I never thought about the range I wanted to stop at, to where if they whiff something right here, now I'm going to be able to actually punish it. And you showing that to me and doing it, I'm like, oh, like, yeah, I never. Now it just, again, it's just something that's probably obvious, but I didn't think about it. Now it clicks.
Yeah, so that's why sometimes you'll see me standing still, right? Because I'll be fighting someone and they'll be like this, right? They'll just be moving backwards, right? But if I forward dash, I'm too close and I'm running into their attack, right? But I'm like right here. If they whip something, I'm punishing it. So I'm just chilling. I'm following their back dash. I'm not letting them go too far because I want to be in range where if they whiff, I can punish it. But I also want to be in the range where I can dash forward and hit them. So if I decide to, I can go in the whole time. This is pressure on them. See? And the whole time, either they have to let me dash in, or they have to hit a button to stop me from dashing in, and they whiff, and I get the whiff punish. But the whole time I'm playing like this, I'm hoping for the whiff punish. It doesn't come, I dash in. Okay? I'm hoping for the whiff punish. It doesn't come, I go in, right? And I'm doing these lows. The whole time doing these lows, I'm hoping that he's gonna duck. They don't duck, I keep on the low. I find out if they're gonna whiff by, sometimes I'll just get hit. Like, it's fine, whatever. I got hit by your keep out down forward 1. That's fine. That's information for me. Next time, I'm gonna dash up, I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna get the whiff punish. I'm gonna win the game. Or next time I dash in and they duck my down 3-4, fine, that's cool. I'm gonna just frame skyrocket you. But the important thing to note when you're playing this character is that you always want to be looking for the counterplay, like your opponent doing the counter to what you're doing, right? So you'll go in. I'll have an idea, like, okay, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna do this. If he hits me out of it, he hits me out of it. But if he gets me out of it, that's good information for me. If he blocks my low, that's good information for me. So It's good to have like like you said, every Hwoarang player plays a little bit differently. They all have like their own like level, like layer 1 like flowcharts and stuff. Right. But you want to, as you're doing your default, your layer 1, you want to be looking out for the counters so that you can kill them harder for the counters, right? So you always want that in the back of your mind. You don't want to just be doing it just to be doing it. If you're thinking about just landing the down 3-4, it's too short-sighted, right? So you go through, and that's why it's so easy. You're plus 19, bro. You're plus 19, and you're doing like plus, was it 14? Yeah, plus 14, and you're doing like a safe mid. Plus 14, doing a safe mid. Plus 14, even doing the jab is pretty safe, right? When you do the jab, you need to be looking out like, okay, is this dude going to duck these, right? When you're doing the down 3-4, you need to be like, is this dude going to duck this? When you're dashing in, you're like, is this dude going to mash? Keep me out. And you can't be scared of it. You have to be hoping he does it,
right? Because
you're going to win the game. If that's his chosen counterplay, if he's choosing to try to defend against me, he's going to lose the game. I love that. That's my favorite thing. Like, oh, this guy thinks he knows what I'm going to do. He thinks he knows when I'm going to run up. He thinks he knows when I'm going to go low. Perfect. Thank you. You're exposing yourself to weakness. Now I'm going to kill it next time. Yeah. So keep that in your mind while you're playing.
Got it.
And that'll probably just inherently make you better. It'll make you flowchart a little bit less. Right? It'll make you, instead of just sticking to your habits, it'll make you a little bit faster in recognizing when you can adjust on something and like kill people for more things. And also sometimes they will, when you're standing here, right? The other dude, he'll instead of just trying to keep you out or backdash, he'll run in and hit you.
Yeah.
And that's the other part. That's where you do your thing.
Right.
That's where you got this. This move is fire.
It's one of my favorite moves.
14, that goes hard. And so, that's where your whole neutral game comes in, right? Because bro's running in and he's attacking. Right? And he gets hit. He doesn't like that. So next time bro runs up and he stops, right? Because he thinks you're gonna down for it too. He runs it, he stops. He's looking for the whip. I'm going in. Right? That's the counterplay. You always want to just have that in your head. What I'm doing this, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. He can beat this with this move or this option. And I'm ready for him to pick that option so I can kill him for both options, and he'll get really mad. He'll lose to me killing him for both options. He'll go tweet about Hwoarang.
I already get enough of that, but nah, for sure, I feel it. And that's the funny part too, is that like, whatever, man, the Hwoarang hate is just real. Like, I have been completely invalidated on like any and every opinion I have on Tekken and this game just because I play Hwoarang. I'm just like, cool.
Listen, bro. And that's genuinely how they feel. Listen, there's no need to even be mad about that, right? If someone replies to me and they start complaining about the fact that I play Hwoarang, I'm like, yo, this dude is not qualified for this conversation.
Bro, right? my biggest thing is I'm like, I know this character is not even that good, right? Like,
yeah,
the
characters.
Like he's solid. Like, I don't think he's like weak in this game, right? But like, nigga, there are some way bigger problem characters than Hwoarang.
No, not listen, not when you are about like 10 Ryu rank. I'm gonna be real. Hwoarang is probably the biggest op. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Dragunov, nothing. You know what I mean? Fang Wei, nothing. I'm not scared of no Dragunov or Fang Wei at 10 Ryu. Okay, I'm concerned about Hwoarang. Hwoarang and King are probably my biggest ops if I'm 10 Ryu.
I was like, part of it is obviously that I play the character, so I have at least somewhat of an idea of like what they want to do, and like I know the counterplay to some of those moves, right? Like, I know if a motherfucker just comes in and is just mashing 4-4-4, I'm gonna duck. Like, I know if he's trying to do down 3-4, you know, like there's certain things like, okay, I play this character, so I know, but like, I don't know. I did recently have to go through the red ranks again because like I picked up Reina and I started at Gauryu rank and I was like, let me get her to Mighty Ruler real quick, and along the way I was like, oh, this is why y'all feel this way. But I don't know. It's just funny, but because like the lower level players, and like I always hate like having conversations like this because I feel like I sound so condescending, but I'm not trying to be elitist or anything like that. But like it just is what it is. Like the lower level players, they don't know what they don't know, and they don't know how to discern or distinguish between play styles and things like that. Which is why like that guy earlier said like, oh, all Hwoarang players are just the same mashing ass niggas. I'm like, no, I actually think there's varying styles between players, which is one of the things that make this character so sick in particular to me, right? It's like they don't have the eye for that yet, or the knowledge to discern it. So it's like it does all look the same to them. But yeah, I don't know.
That's fine, bro. I grew up in the South. I'm used to ignorance, bro. So so you can let people, you can let people be ignorant or whatever it is, bro. Whatever the problem is cool. He can be mad about Hwoarang. He in the chat. He not anything really too concerning. You know what I mean? He's chatting. He's on Twitter complaining about Hwoarang because he lost his promotion, and I feel him. Listen, if I didn't know Hwoarang's moves, I'd be mad too. It's a lot of moves. it's a whole lot of moves.
I think a lot of it is a pride thing and ego thing as well. And I think these, let's just keep it a stack, these inflated ass ranks in Tekken 8 where niggas is hitting red rank and now they think they know a thing or two about Tekken, and like now they're trying to come in here and tell me, it's like, listen, I'm very far from being one of the best players at this game or even the best at my character. But I think I know a tiny bit more than you. just a smidge.
Yeah. Yeah, listen. They don't care, bro. They don't care. They don't care what you know.
They don't.
Okay. They don't give a they don't care what rank you got. They don't care how long you've been following Tekken. They don't care that you've been watching Tekken for years and they just got here with 8. They don't care. They lost their far and the character's cheap and you don't know what you're talking about. It's fine.
This is funny because I'm not allowed to talk about any other character in any capacity because of who I play. I'm like, okay, dog, y'all got it. I'll go pick up Kazi. I'll be a Kazi main, and then maybe people will respect me.
No, they wouldn't. It'd just be a different group of haters. Listen, that's the thing about Tekken.
You're right.
That's the thing about Tekken. There's always a group of haters.
It doesn't matter what character, no matter, regardless of like the strength of your character, what rank you are, like whether your character is easy, difficult, high tier, low tier. Somebody out there hates that nigga, and you gonna get hate for playing them.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And if you have a big enough following, they will find you.
I know it.
They'll be on your page. They're like, bro, who you play? You play Hwoarang? Shut up.
Trunks was bottom tier for all 5 years of me playing DBFZ, and I still had niggas telling me I was carried or that Trunks was annoying. I'm like, yo, this nigga has never been good.
Yo, that's par for the course, bro. You sometimes just gotta hold that. That's just how fighting games are.
It is what it is.
we know about it. We've been playing fighting games for a long time. All right, man. But I do have to actually get ready for my next session.
No, for sure. I definitely appreciate you so much for coming through today. I think I learned a lot. I got some really good notes, and I'll be looking forward to our next session. Which when and how do we set up that and schedule that?
You can use that exact same calendar because that's the one for the follow-ups.
Gotcha. All right then.
That's the little backdoor calendar. All right, and also, just to recap, okay. Make sure that you are kind of placing more of a focus on what you're doing at that mid-range, right?
Right.
In order to get to that mid-range, you have to pay attention to how your opponent is moving. So if they're moving backwards and you want to hold that range, you have to move forward. If you think they're going to move forward on you, that's when you do your keep out move, because you can't move back as fast as they can move forward, right? And then if you think they're not going to, if you think they're just going to sit there and wait, then you just go in and you hit them. You do your thing, right? Pay attention to their counterplay. And that means that when you are dashing in, expect the keep out move. You expect, like, look out for those, right? When you're doing your low, look out for them ducking, so that you can always kind of know in your head when you should go for the mid, right? When you're doing your Hwoarang pokes and you're like doing the stance switch, look out for the mash so that you could know if you need to go for the counter hit. That way you don't want to flowchart. You do have to do the moves, but you can't go brain dead while doing the moves. So in order to do that, you have to be looking out for the counterplay that exists to your move, and that way you'll be faster on adjusting. Okay,
sounds good.
And then aside from that, do more mids after down 3-4. That is important.
I'm working on it. Look, like I said, I didn't realize it until I sat here thought about it, because you're telling me the same thing Kay was said when it comes to that, and you're both right. And I realized that I was using a mid, and I was like, okay, maybe I should use some of the safe mids, and that's the next step where I cut back on the up 4-4. I'm trying not to be as greedy, okay. And now the next step is like, hey nigga, do the back 3, do the down 4-4.
And every Hwoarang player, they have their different styles, the preferred styles to play, right? And that means that changes what mid they choose there. So you did the right flamingo 1. I think that was good. I don't do that move. I know some Hwoarang players who do that move. It's a different situation. It leads you into more pressure, right? Like, because it's fast, it's a little bit faster,
right?
So for people who like to keep up the pressure strings, the 1 is good. For me, who likes to collect out on my reward into the heating gauge stuff, the back 3 is good. For someone who wants to play it a little bit safer so they can keep like their framing advantage, the down 4-4 is good, right? But you have to do a mid. So pick your mid, pick your favorite mid, and do it, okay?
All right, I have one last question. I don't want to hold you up for too long, but I want to run something by you by you before you get out of here. I've been thinking lately, because obviously I use forward 4 a lot, right? I feel like it's a good tool for him. Like in neutral, it's obviously a heat engager, whatever. It's pretty linear, but like it's a pretty good move. And lately I've been wondering, should I be using that less early in rounds? Because I've been debating and like wondering or like thinking about whether or not using a heat engager too early in the game is a bad thing. Because then, well, let's say if I don't, and I guess you can't always worry about like, what if I don't get any reward out of this, out of using it? But it's like, is preserving heat for later in the round maybe better than using it early? Because like if I get a forward 4 in the first 5 seconds of the game and I burn through my heat and like my opponent's like half health or higher, and now they have heat and they're still waiting for rage to show up, then I kind of had a huge disadvantage.
So I don't think heat engaging too early is bad, but you have to kind of snowball that, right? So you have to be willing to, you gotta beat their ass a little bit, right? Maybe it comes down to that post heat situation being so good with just frame skyrocket,
right?
So maybe after you practice the just frame skyrocket a bit, when you get that more comfortable, you'll like it a lot more. But trust me, when you heat engage early, you feel like, oh, this is my route. Like gotcha. I'm about to form the biggest advantage. Like, this dude's gonna have to work really hard to come back. Even the rage and the heat is not really enough to save them usually, because you usually can beat them up enough, chip them down enough to where they can lose off of like one more hit,
right, before
your heat is even done, right? So as the game is played right now, you get your heat engages whenever you get your heat engages. Don't think too hard about when that's coming, and just play off the momentum that you get when you get it.
All right, just something I was thinking about lately, and I just kind of wanted to hear your opinion on it.
Okay, yeah, no problem. All right, so I have to go now, bro. So take care. Okay,
for sure. Be easy on me.
All right.
Appreciate you.
All right, no problem. Peace out.